Long after the city had forgotten it, the old office building still stood in silence. Its windows were broken, its walls were stained by rain, and beneath its concrete bones, a basement waited in the dark, holding secrets no living soul wanted to uncover. Mark had worked the night shift for years, but that night felt different. As he stepped into the abandoned lobby, his flashlight trembled across dusty walls and broken doors. The building was silent, yet somehow, it felt like it already knew he had arrived. Deep below the building, the boiler room breathed like a sleeping beast. Rusted pipes hissed, steam crawled through the air, and Mark moved carefully between the machines. Everything looked familiar, but the silence beneath the noise felt strangely alive. Then came the scratching, faint, slow, and deliberate. Mark froze as the sound scraped through the darkness from the farthest corner of the basement. It was not the sound of rats or metal. It was something he remembered from long ago. Mark followed the sound into a corridor he had never noticed before. The walls were damp, the pipes were rusted, and fog crawled across the floor. With every step, the basement seemed to guide him deeper, away from safety and closer to the truth. The lights flickered once, then twice, then failed completely. Darkness swallowed the corridor around Mark. He reached for his flashlight, but its weak beam sputtered in his shaking hand. When it died, the whispers began to move all around him. Out of the darkness, a pale figure stepped into the moonlight. Wet hair clung to his face, and his hollow eyes glowed with quiet hatred. Mark knew him instantly. It was Danny, the boy he had lost, and the guilt he had buried. Danny's words shattered Mark's courage. He ran through the narrow corridor, slipping on the wet floor, gasping for air. Behind him, the ghost's voice followed like cold breath, whispering the truth Mark had spent years trying to escape. At the end of the corridor, Mark saw a rusty door. Old, impossible. But beyond it was light. Hope rushed through him as he grabbed the handle and pushed it open. For one desperate moment, he believed the nightmare was over and freedom was waiting outside. But there was no exit, no street, no sky. Mark stepped through the door and found himself back inside the same cold basement. The walls, pipes, and shadows surrounded him again, revealing the terrible truth. The building would not let him leave. Desperate, Mark pressed his ear against the damp wall, hoping to hear the outside world. Instead, the bricks whispered Danny's name. Then they shifted, breathing like living flesh, as shadowy hands reached out and began pulling Mark into the wall. The basement woke. The walls bled darkness. The floor opened like a mouth. And as Danny's laughter filled the room, Mark's screams were swallowed by the basement-hungry walls. By morning, Mark was gone. No blood, no body, no sign of a struggle. Only a dying flashlight on the basement floor, flickering like a warning. Some sins never wash away, and some ghosts never forgive.